It's relatively quiet out there, considering it's only a week to the window. I'm sure it's going to start hotting up. And there's been a few deals bubbling along. One of them is Oscar Bobb to Fulham. Let's get the latest on that with Intuit QuickBooks and Ben Jacobs. Hi, Ben.
Good afternoon.
Anybody else in the frame? It always seems to have been Fulham, this move, but is there anybody else that could be smoked out, you think?
Yeah, Dortmund were the one that's made an inquiry earlier in the window, but it looks like Fulham are going to get this one over the line. Oscar Bobb is happy to stay within the Premier League. Manchester City content to sell following the arrival of Antoine Semenyo. They're looking for a fee of between 30 and 35 million pounds. And what I can tell you is that the parties are now in advanced talks. Fulham sources have told talkSPORT that they're going to make a new formal written offer. Could be today, but certainly by the middle of the week. And because the valuation gulf is not particularly high now, and Bobb is prepared to make the move, unless another suitor like Dortmund comes in at the last minute, there's a very realistic chance that Oscar Bobb moves from Manchester City to Fulham.
It could be a really good deal. I mean, before he broke his leg, he was terrific and looking terrific, and it's been difficult for him. But then it's hard when you're a City, when you're out of the picture. So it could be a good move for Fulham, this.
Yeah, I think a smart move for Fulham, and what will be intriguing given the money they've got to spend and the backing for Marco Silva because they want him to sign a new deal. Are they going to drop 30 plus million on Oscar Bobb and maybe another 30 plus million on the US men's national team striker Ricardo Pepi from PSV? And that would be a big spend for Fulham, and it would make a statement. And maybe that will be the difference between Marco Silva deciding to sign this new 3-year deal or walk away at the end of the season, because those negotiations are done financially. Silva's told Fulham, if I sign, the finances are fine, the contract's ready. I'm sure that Silva just wants to wait and see what do they do in the window and make a decision a bit later in the season. And if they drop 60 million on two players, Bobb and Pepi, that would be a very big statement from Fulham in the final week of the window.
Yeah, there's some plum jobs available in the summer, though.
Yeah.
So,
Last couple of weeks for West Ham maybe have taken the edge off those West Ham fans who are thinking we cannot let Paquetá go now. So it looks like the deal is edging closer. As Danny Kelly was saying earlier on, and as Tim Vicker has often said to us, it's hard to believe that you'd see a player going back to Brazil for, just shy of £36 million. Those sorts of deals didn't happen a few years ago, did they?
Yeah, it's a massive deal for Flamengo, and they're trying to get Paketa to sign in time so he can play against Corinthians, which is the next game for Flamengo. We'll wait and see whether that happens. My understanding here, as we broke yesterday on talkSPORT, is that an offer worth 41 million euros, fixed fee only, has been made by Flamengo, and the finances are acceptable to West Ham, but not the payment terms. So now the parties today, tomorrow, are going to thrash out that part. And the big breakthrough is the fact that West Ham no longer are adamant that Paketa must stay until the end of the season. So the option was you either sign him in the summer or you sign him now and you loan him back. Now West Ham are prepared to do the deal immediately. There's plenty of time because the Brazilian window runs until March. But Flamengo really feel like this is a days or hours away kind of deal because they've got the valuation, they've got the buy-in from West Ham. Now they've just got to sort out the structure, and then this one is likely to be a done deal.
Yeah, and buying a couple of players early in the window has really paid off for West Ham.
No, it has.
So many clubs don't do that.
No, I just think it does. It just gives that a little bit of impetus, doesn't it? 2 or 3 games past, it looks a different season. I mean, they've still got some catching up to do, but it looks a slightly different picture for West Ham after these last 2 weekends. Finally, the Andy Robertson situation. When the story broke last week, I thought, okay, that's an interesting move. It's a great pro and a winner and all that, and I could see the sense of it. But I did think at the time, would Liverpool let him go? And that seems to be the sticking point, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wonder whether the late defeat to Bournemouth just created a change of heart, either on the club or the player side. And it's a strange deal, but a very positive one for Liverpool, where Andy Robertson never wanted to leave Liverpool in the lurch either. So the backstory here is there was an agreement in principle with Tottenham for around 5 million, including add-ons. Robertson was prepared to make the move, but like Antoine Semenyo, agreed to be part of the squad for Bournemouth and then have an Anfield farewell against Qarabag midweek. Somewhere between the loss to Bournemouth and now, Liverpool have determined, okay, it's not right for us. And even though that in theory could change with market movement in the final days of the window, as of now, Robinson is staying put. Some sources say Kostas Tsimikas, who we broke on talkSPORT, was going to be recalled if Robinson went was the issue here, because even though Roma were prepared to sanction his exit in theory, the catch was they have to find a replacement first, and time is ticking. So 90% Robinson stays, 10% Roma get a replacement, and then it unlocks the deal. But as of now, Liverpool are content for Robertson to stay. He's fine seeing out the end of the season. And then, of course, he's a free agent in the summer, and Tottenham might well come calling again.
Yeah, excellent. Thank you, Ben. We'll catch up with you soon.
Thanks, guys.